Do you really think you know the life of Jesus? Or do you have a distorted version, created by religion and history books? What no one has told you is that Jesus was not only the divine Messiah, he also dealt with the same everyday dilemmas that you and I face. Insecurities, frustrations, the pressure of responsibility, and loneliness. Maybe you think he was always surrounded by crowds, but the truth is that he withdrew, sought solitude, and dealt with problems so human that they may even surprise you. In today's video, we will discover the facts about Jesus' daily life that no one had the courage to tell you. Get ready to challenge everything you believed. What you will discover can transform your faith and the way you live in the present. Jesus was an ordinary man, but an extraordinary one. When we think of Jesus, we immediately imagine miracles, great sermons and scenes of crowds surrounding him. But what few stop to reflect on is that Jesus did not have a fixed home. He did not live in palaces, churches, or any other place of comfort. He traveled from city to city and often slept outdoors or in the homes of people he met along the way. For a man considered the Son of God, this sounds quite different from what we would expect, doesn't it? The truth is that by living without a fixed place, Jesus was teaching us something powerful. He didn't care about comfort or status. His life was not about having a big house or a secure routine. His mission was more important than any material stability. And this challenges us to think, how many times are we so concerned with seeking security, comfort, and stability that we forget that our true mission and true purpose may require something much greater from us? This life choice by Jesus questions you ask about our priorities. Are we willing to give up what is easy and comfortable to live what really matters? Jesus did not need luxury or comfort to fulfill his purpose. He shows us that life is much more about what we do, about how we touch people's lives and fulfill our mission, than about where we live or what we have. And this lesson of detachment and surrender still resonates strongly with us today. Jesus faced human difficulties. That's right. The Son of God was not immune to the difficulties and emotions that we all feel. He felt hungry, tired, frustrated, and even sad. Sometimes we look at Jesus as someone distant, almost without defects or flaws. But the truth is that he lived the human experience intensely and truly. In moments of solitude, he sought strength in prayer, and in other situations, he found himself completely exhausted, like any human being. A clear example of this is the death of Lazarus. When he learned of the death of his friend, Jesus not only felt sad, he cried. Even though he was able to resurrect Lazarus, he allowed himself to experience that pain. And that is where the profound lesson comes in. Pain is part of the human experience, but with faith, we can overcome any situation. By crying, Jesus not only demonstrated his love for Lazarus, but he also showed us that it's okay to express grief, no matter how great our faith. He used pain to teach that despite hardships, trusting in God can lead us to a place of healing and peace. This aspect of Jesus' life is immediately relatable to all of us. How often do we feel alone, tired, or even overwhelmed by life's hardships? Jesus' story reminds us that feeling these things is not a sign of weakness, but an opportunity to grow, to learn, and most of all, to trust that despite trials, faith is what sustains us. He didn't avoid pain. He used it to show us the path to healing and inner peace. Jesus was more human than we think. The idea that Jesus was a distant, almost heavenly figure without flaws can make us feel like he's not approachable. But the truth is, Jesus knew how to use his humanity to connect with people. He used humor, irony, and even sarcasm to teach powerful lessons. When he spoke about taking the speck out of your brother's eye while there is a plank in your own eye, Matthew 7:3, he was making a very direct critique of one of society's most common fallacies, hypocrisy. Jesus knew how to communicate. in an impactful way with the people around him, and often this included a more direct and even ironic tone. The most interesting thing is that, by using this approach, he approached people instead of pushing them away. He didn't need complex words or deep speeches for people to understand. He spoke in a way that everyone, even the simplest, could understand. This teaches us a great lesson. Our communication must be clear and truthful, without pretense, without wanting to appear perfect all the time. Jesus' humanity reminds us that, as much as we have faith, we are also flawed and we need to be authentic in our path. Jesus' life was one of service and humility. Who would have imagined that the great leader, the Son of God, would wash the feet of his disciples? This radical act of humility, found in John 13:5, is one of the most profound lessons Jesus left us. He could have been served, but he chose to serve. He was not concerned with status or recognition. His concern was for others. And this was a shock to the society of the time, where leaders were seen as superior figures who did not mix with others. Today, in a world where everyone seeks recognition, money, and power, Jesus challenges us to think about the true meaning of leadership. Jesus shows that true leadership is about serving, helping, and putting others first. Are we humble enough to put the needs of others ahead of our own? Or are we more concerned with our image and our achievements? Jesus reminds us that true greatness comes from service, not from displaying power. The lesson of humility that he left us can transform the way we live, relate to others, and lead. Jesus had friends and socialized in a world where we often think that spiritual leaders or people who are very committed to a mission must be lonely or distant. Jesus breaks this stereotype. He did not spend his life isolated, only meditating and preaching. He attended parties, ate with simple people, and those who were marginalized by society. One of the most striking examples of this is the wedding at Cana, where he performed his first miracle, John 2:1-11. Instead of being distant, he was present in moments of celebration of life, actively participating in joys and human relationships. This coexistence with others was an essential part of his mission. He connected with everyone, regardless of their social, moral, or religious class. He knew that by being with people, he could impact them in a deeper way. This teaches us the importance of human connections in our own journey. We should not isolate ourselves or live in bubbles, because it is in relationships and interactions that we can truly make a difference. Jesus shows us that even everyday situations, such as a party or a dinner, are opportunities to grow, learn, and serve. Jesus connected with nature. Jesus knew the importance of moments of solitude and connection with God. He often retreated to the mountains or quiet places to pray and recharge his batteries. The desert, the Mount of Olives, and Gethsemane are just some of the places where he would retreat from the crowds to be alone with his Father. He understood that in order to fulfill his mission, it was necessary to find peace and strength in solitude, away from the pressure of the crowd. The lesson here is clear. We cannot spend our entire lives running after commitments and responsibilities without taking time for ourselves. Moments of reflection, stillness, and connection with something greater allow us to find answers and strength for what lies ahead. If Jesus, the Son of God, felt the need to seek these moments of introspection, how much more so do we who face the battles of everyday life? By withdrawing to pray, he teaches us that in order to fulfill our mission, we need to take care of our emotional and spiritual health. In such a hectic world, rest and renewal are essential. Jesus' hard work, although many think of Jesus only as the charismatic preacher, he was also a carpenter. He spent much of his youth working with his father Joseph, handling tools and doing the physical labor that many do not associate with the Son of God. This shows us an often overlooked facet. Jesus was not born on a pedestal, but in an ordinary home. where hard work and a simple life were part of reality. This experience as a carpenter not only shaped the way he saw the world, but also teaches us the importance of work, dedication, and humility. Jesus reminds us that no matter what our occupation, the way we work and dedicate ourselves can be a way of serving and honoring God. Too often, we focus only on success or position, forgetting that true greatness comes from doing well what is entrusted to us, whether it is physical or spiritual work. Interaction with people. Jesus interacted with people from all backgrounds, social classes, and even religions. He did not limit himself to a specific group, but actively sought out people who were marginalized, rejected, or despised by the society of the time. He spoke to sinners, tax collectors, and even Samaritans, a group largely shunned by the Jews of his day. His famous encounter with the Samaritan woman at Jacob's well, John 4, is a clear example of this. By talking to her, Jesus not only broke down social and religious barriers, but also showed that everyone, regardless of their background, has value in God's eyes. This interaction challenges us to reflect on how we treat the people around us. Are we willing to see beyond differences and recognize the humanity in people, regardless of who they are or where they come from? Jesus teaches us that in order to fulfill our mission and impact the world, we must be willing to connect with everyone, no matter their flaws or stories. Real change begins when we treat people with dignity and love, just as he did. The mystery of Jesus' routine. What many people don't know is that the Gospels are silent about much of Jesus' youth and daily life. There were about 18 years between Jesus' birth and the beginning of his public ministry, and few details about this period are recorded. The mystery surrounding these years has generated much speculation, but it also leads us to an important point. We don't always need all the answers. Jesus lived a simple life and often in silence, and this can be a powerful lesson for us, who are so used to wanting everything quickly and clearly. Sometimes, silence and waiting can be part of the divine plan. This mystery teaches us that there are times when we need to trust the process, even without having all the answers. Jesus' silence during these years can invite us to reflect on the physiologies, importance of moments of introspection, personal growth, and preparation. The time of waiting and preparation, although invisible to others, can be essential to our mission and our purpose. Now that you have learned more about Jesus' daily life, you may have been surprised to realize that he was not just a distant spiritual leader, but a deeply human man with pain, challenges, and a simple but purposeful life. Each of these aspects of Jesus' life, his humanity, his hard work, his humility, and his way of connecting with people, challenges us to reflect on how we are living our own lives. Are we so focused on comfort and stability that we forget our true purpose? Are we, in fact, living to serve others or just for our own satisfaction? Jesus did not live for himself, but to fulfill the mission he was given. And he left us a clear example of how we should live, with humility, with service to others, with moments of introspection, and also with the courage to face the challenges that arise. His life was not made up of miracles alone, but of choices, of dedication, and of sacrifice. Now the question is, how will you apply these teachings to your daily life? Are you ready to live with the same sense of purpose and dedication that Jesus demonstrated? Jesus' journey teaches us that no matter where you are or what you have, true greatness lies in serving, loving, and giving yourself to what really matters. The truth that no one has told you about Jesus' daily life is not only about who he was, but about how he challenges us to be. And that is a lesson that can transform your life if you let it.